Good afternoon, financial professionals. Abby Fletcher here of E4 Insurance Services, welcoming you to the BREW, Building Relationships Every Week. Today on the BREW, we have our Star Advisor series focused on Malik Lee, who serves as managing partner of Felton and Peel Wealth Management. Malik is a leader in our industry as a financial advisor focused in philanthropic communities, as well as an author of many business articles, publications contributing to Kiplinger, Business Insider, and even the Wall Street Journal. Malik's partner is our star RVP here at E4, Shane Van Patten. I'm going to pass the mic over to Shane in a moment here, but before I do, let me set the table a little bit about the BREW today. It's going to be very conversational. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions. I have a series of questions that I'm eager to learn more on, but feel free to join the conversation. Chat box below, I'll be keeping a lookout for it. And thanks for tuning in. Let's get started. Shane Van Patten, won't you share a little bit more about your connection to Malik?
Perfect, thank you, Abby. Yes, I've had the opportunity to support Malik and his team in insurance and annuity planning just over 10 years now. And within those 10 years, I've been able to identify some attributes that Malik possesses, and there's a lot of them, but I really wanted to highlight 3 of them today. So the first one is, Malik just has a genuine desire to help people. So whether it's something personal or anything related to comprehensive financial planning, he just cares. So here at E4 Insurance, we call that the give a shit chromosome. And Malik certainly possesses that. Attribute number 2 is that Malik is dedicated to learning and growing professionally. So Malik and I are 1 month apart in our birthdays. I won't tell you how old he is, but he's not 40 yet. But when I look at Malik and, we've been kind of coming through this profession together, and I look at the accomplishments, the things that he's gone out and proactively, the training he's done, the boards he's sitting on. I'm not going to cover all of them, but I'm going to give a little highlight. So he's got a CFP designation. He's got he's a chartered advisor in philanthropy, accredited portfolio management advisor, member of the CFP Board Council of Examinations, subject matter expert and question writer for the CFP examination, president-elect and board member for Georgia's Financial Planning Association, the founding and current member of Morehouse College's Planned Giving Council, and a member of the Association of African American Financial Advisors. So, when I look through this, Malik, I know we're about the same age, but I really, it reminds me that I'm somebody who advocates to always be learning, and you certainly have lived up to that, and you motivate me every day to want to continue to learn as well. The third attribute is, even as Malik continued to grow and have success, he's still grounded, and he's still just motivated to give back, whether it's through philanthropy or through his educational literature that he puts out there. And we're going to talk more about that today, but it's a really great attribute that he has. And finally, if I could summarize Malik Lee in just a few words, I would simply say that he's just an amazing human. So with that, Abby, I'll hand it back to you.
Thanks, Shane. Well said. Love this, Malik, huh?
I mean, just keep it going, Shane. Just keep it going.
Hey, I'm coming to you live from Minneapolis. Where are you zooming in from today, sir?
I am zooming in from hot Atlanta, Georgia. So I know you guys got some snow up there, so I don't want to rub it in too much.
Hot Atlanta. Well, thanks for joining us today. I wanted to start. We're fascinated by a number of things, obviously, but first and foremost, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your firm, Felton and Peel Wealth Management, your mission, beliefs, and specialties, please.
Yes. So our firm, Felton and Peel Wealth Management, is a registered investment advisory firm based in New York and Atlanta. We have quite a few clients nationwide. I would say right now we're in about 8 different states. but still under the de minimis for some of those states. But so we're officially in New York and Atlanta. Our company believes is that, I'm glad that Shane kind of touched on it, because it means a lot. I know that that's our foundation. And our company believes that comprehensive financial planning should be for everyone. Not just for individuals that have $500,000 or $1 million in assets or hit a threshold. We feel that it's vital and important. So we also believe that your cash flow projections that are obtained via your comprehensive financial plan should determine your asset allocation. So how you should be investing your funds. So that's our proprietary, I guess, investment philosophy there. Our specialties and niches, if you will, are serving the emerging affluent millennial generation, retirees seeking to optimize their retirement distribution strategies, and medical professionals, and lastly, individuals who are looking to add philanthropy through their financial plan, which we'll probably talk more about today. So.
Thank you. Also, one of our E4 colleagues noticed that there is some sentimental value behind your name. Will you share a bit on that as well?
Oh, yes. So the name of my firm, it's Felton and Peel Wealth Management. So Felton is my father's middle name, so Vernon Felton Lee, and Peel is my mother's maiden name. And it came to me from I was meditating. I wish I could say that, right? But I was actually in the shower, and the name kind of came to me. And I was like, that really rings. But more importantly, so I really wanted to honor them. I say on the website that I built this firm, and I would like to build this firm so that my parents, who if they were alive today, it could be a firm that they can go to, because they were working class, blue collar folks, and they could have had $1 million at 65 or could not, but I wanted to build a firm that they can come to.
Oh, good one. Thanks for sharing that. It goes without saying, we've all been really dazzled by your Kiplinger article recently. And it was titled, "I'm not a millionaire, but I just gave $250,000 to Morehouse College." Let's chat on this for a bit. You had me at that title. So tell me a little bit about your heartstrings to Morehouse, your path to college, and a little bit about your village, because there's something fun here.
Yes. So Morehouse was to get to Morehouse was a unique path. Actually, I was planning to go to community college my senior year, and I went on a college tour, and my mind was blown away. I was always a low B student. I didn't even study for the SAT. I didn't think I was really going to go to a big school. So I just sat down and took it and straight bombed it. Okay. I bombed. I think I got an 800 when it was 1600 at the time. I don't know what it is now. 24, they flip flop on what it is now. But when I got to Morehouse, I was, iron sharpens iron, the saying goes. And that's what I feel that they molded me into that child, into kind of manhood. They teach you things at Morehouse that is outside of the curriculum and the X's and O's of education. And then lastly, I met lifelong friends there, friends that I don't think that my practice will be where it's at today if it wasn't for their support. They're just love. They're pushing me to move forward and to keep going. So I think that was also a very key thing of just my path to Morehouse, and it kind of ties into the village, because the village got me or helped me to get to Morehouse, right? So that college tour that I told you about was a friend of one of my best friend's parents. His mother was like, "You need to go on a college tour." And I'm like, "What is a college tour?" He's like, "You gotta go. Okay, you gotta go. You gotta come on this tour, and we gotta show you what's out there. You gotta get outside of New York City, which I'm originally from, and you gotta get outside of the concrete jungle, if you will." And when I saw the college life, a college experience, which is a lot different from schools up north versus outside, well, in New York City, because it's just limited space. You don't have the big campuses, and you don't have that college campus life, which is a totally different atmosphere from that. But so that was the first time where the village kind of helped out. And then I get, there's numerous instances, we can probably keep talking all day,
Oh,
but at the age of 6, I lost my parents. One of the reasons why I wanted to contribute or make that tribute to the name of the firm. And I lost them due to another medical crisis that our country faced back then. But my grandmother took me in, and she was 57, 58 at the time. She's trying to wind it down. And that was the first big save, because the day after that she came in and got me, I was staying with my mother's sister at the time, so my aunt. The day after she came and got me, child services came and scooped up all of my cousins and other family members who unfortunately grew up without their parents for the remainder of their childhood. So that was probably one of the, but it was so many people. It was family, friends, church members, individuals of the community, and it just goes on and on from that perspective.
And they let you learn how to drive. What's this? We're missing this fun story. Yes.
The village was just so powerful. Like for every major thing, I was loved baseball growing up. I actually got a couple of low level. I know Shane is like a world class athlete in his heyday, but I got a low level baseball scholarship. But I didn't take it because I went to Morehouse instead. But growing up, I was going to training programs and getting driven and taken to team games, and I was a church member who used to take us there. So the one of my friends in the high school, they had multiple cars. They were pretty well off, so they had multiple cars, and I didn't drive, and they knew I had jobs in high school, and they was like, Malik, you gotta get to where you're going. And it was like, who's going to teach you how to drive? And I was like, my grandmother's not letting me touch her Buick. Like, that is not happening. That is not happening. So she was like, well, you could drive my car. And she would let me drive like her Mercedes-Benz and BMW and her Lexus. And then I was sitting there taking it to, and I got my license, from that. And so the village was just so powerful to me. And when I step back and I look at all the help that I was given, I'm like, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for all of these other individuals. I got a scholarship from my church to help pay for books and things when I was at school, which was important. Like, it wasn't a lot. It was like, $2 to $3 grand, but I was working 2 jobs. So, I'm like, if I could take a day off of work, if that could buy me some books, that would mean a lot. So to me, it was like $1 million, from that perspective.
Thanks for sharing that, Malik, because your gratitude on that particular part of your life really shines. In this article that we are bragging up about, there was mention that there is a proper way to give a gift, planned gift versus annual gift. Can you touch on that for a little bit?
Yes. So with philanthropy, there's actually three types of gifts. So you have, and I'm gonna walk you up the ladder here. So first there's, so you have your annual gifts, and your annual gifts are typically from $0 to $10,000 in denomination. And those types of gifts, we all get them all the time. There's the little mailers that come in. Hey, give $5 to the Goodwill, or your school might call you and say, hey, we're having a banquet. Can you buy a ticket, 30 or 40, $50? Football games, et cetera, et cetera. So that will probably fall underneath the annual gift range. Second is your major gifts. So those are your gifts that are typically in denomination from 10,000 to 100,000. And this usually happens when a donor gives about 10 times their annual gift in 1 year. That might be because they had a big tax return or inheritance or whatever it is. So if you usually give $500 or $500 a year, then that's 5,000 or 50,000 maybe if you are getting into that kind of major gift range. And then lastly, what I did with Morehouse College, and that's a planned gift. So planned gifts are typically over $100,000 in nature. They're typically given over an extended period of time, 5, 10, 20, 30 years, or even after death. A good example, one that I recently did as being a founding member on the Planned Giving Council of Morehouse College, And this is public, so you can kind of Google this and look this up. But we recently helped an alumnus give $1 million in Black art to the college at his bequest. And this story was featured on CNN in December. So that's, you can actually Google that. So that was considered a planned gift, right? So $1 million at their death, and the college would get the paintings, if you will.
Ooh.
So, but there are some things to look out for when you're gifting I guess some planned gifts. I'm not sure we want to talk about that or not, but I'll swing it back to you.
We'll take it. We'll take it. If you've got a gram of wisdom, you're live.
Yeah. So there's typically some things you want to look out for when you're giving a gift. You want to make sure that for tax situations and things of that nature, is the charity the owner of the gift? Are you giving it outright? When are you giving it? I guess when are you relinquishing that, making it a permanent gift, right? So it's out of your control. You can't no longer control the assets. That typically kind of what dictates the taxability of it. But we'll dive more into that, I guess.
Yes. And any questions so far of what we've shared with Malik from the crowd? Nope. Oh, yes, we will be sending an article, the actual link to the article, and we'll be directing the audience also to where to find more of your publications, Malik, because there's more than just this one that I think people will. So a little background, if you hadn't read the article, Malik did a planned gift to Morehouse College in the sum of $250,000. We actually, in this industry, we love concepts and strategies a whole lot, but Malik, you are such a trendsetter by coining the phrase, the gifting multiplier effect. So if you could just spend a moment on this, we're all eager to hear more. Yes,
so for all those, I know Shane didn't want to give out my age, but I'm gonna give it out for you. I still have, the hairline's not too far back yet, so I don't mind. Oh man, no offense, Jay, no offense. So the giving multiplier effect is what I like to call, when Shane and I Shane and I always talk about strategies and what's the best way to build or structure a life insurance a strategy. And one of the things that we talk about often is how to incorporate that into philanthropy and giving, ever since I've gotten this CAP designation. So when it comes to giving, there are numerous vehicles out there. You have your donor advisor funds, which are very popular, and most people on this call probably know about today. You have your charitable lead and your remainder trust, supporting organizations, foundations, life estates, gift annuities, and finally, like life insurance, what you're seeing here today. So if someone doesn't have $1 million lying around, like myself, as the title indicated, a very popular tool is life insurance. And people use this strategy in giving a few different ways. So first, they use life insurance to guarantee the gift at death and allowing you to either spend down your retirement assets or guarantee a gift to your heirs. Okay, so that is kind of the first way that we use life insurance in the philanthropic space. The second is you use the life insurance, in my case, to help amplify the gift efforts and the giving that you're doing. So looking back, so when I look back at my annual gifting that I was giving to Morehouse prior to the gift, I was giving anywhere from $300 to about $2,200 a year on average, right? So when I did some quick math, and the math is up here on the slide. So when I did some quick math, if I give the max every year, the $2,200 every year, right? So if I put my best foot forward and give $2,200 every year to the college, the max that they will receive to my age 100, we're insurance folks, so we like to go to age 100 a lot of times, right?
Yep.
So to age 100, that would cost $134,200 over my lifetime. And I was being conservative because obviously the average male lives a little bit less. But and then the school would get a benefit of $134,200. So that's 2,200 times 61 is the 134,200. So the planner brain in me said, if we use a Policy, I can probably get the same benefit. I can spend the same or less and probably get the same benefit or more, right?
Mhm.
But I can probably do it in a more efficient way. So when I did the math, I called Shane up and said, "Hey, Shane, can you run a policy for me? And can we do it out permanent policy? And let's, I want to." At first, we did that price, and that price was actually a lot less than 2,200. But then, if we said, "Hey, we pay it up," what would that look like? And it was a lot. It was a lot less than the cost here that we were projecting. And so, when you do the 2,200 times that, I'm 39, times that to age 65, 26 years, you come around that $57,000 cost range, and the school can get the benefit of $250,000. So it's a win-win for everybody, right?
Yep.
So if I'm committed to giving to the school or to the entity that you're giving to, you're fixing in on that annual premium, so you know what your budget is now on an annual basis, right? From a giving perspective, I'm giving the school the most that I can possibly give at this point in time based on my net worth, and I'm spending the least amount in cost. From the school's perspective or the charity's perspective, they're getting a donor that's all in, right? In their eyes, because this donor is committed to us for life. So when they need to do other campaigns, of course, I'm one of the first people that they're going to pick up the phone and call, because they know I have vested interest in the college and for them to succeed. So that is, I guess that's
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm speaking too long here, but that's the
Awesome.
long and short
Awesome.
story of that giving multiplier effect, if you will.
Oh, it's awesome. And it's also, you made mention of, it's non-restricted also, Malik.
Yes. So
share a little on that. Yeah.
yes. So the big thing when you're giving to charities, most people, and that's why I tell people you have to give from your heart, right? So you have to be able to put pride and taxes and all these other fancy things that we focus on as advisors. We have to put that to the side, because when you are looking at most charities and you ask most charities, what is your pressing need? A lot of times they'll tell you staffing, they'll tell you technology, they will tell you things that they need to run a business properly. So when most individuals are giving, they might say, "Hey, put a scholarship in my name." And they put parameters around it, right? Or they might say, "I only wanted to, I want you," for example, the art planned gift art that we did, that gentleman wants his art to be displayed in the college once he passes. So he's giving instructions on what to do for the gift. But in my studies, I realized that when you make the gifts unrestricted, that allows the charity to put the funds where it's most needed at that point in time when they get those dollars. Whether that's if you happen to give your gift during a pandemic, right, and you need to upgrade your technology, this is how you want to, so they might need to spend the funds on that, right? So these are the things but that keeps their doors open and allows them to succeed further. So that is kind of why I made my gift unrestricted, if you will. That's the kind of the backstory of that.
And then does Morehouse have a way of monetizing your gift currently? And this is a question from the audience, actually.
Yes.
Does the pledge carry weight today for the school?
So for the school, the pledge doesn't carry weight today. It's the long game, right? So it's the equivalent of us annuitizing our commissions versus getting it all up front, right? So a good practice is you kind of want a blend of both, right? So when it comes to gifting, a good charity, it's a blend, a mix of all three types of gifts that we discussed: annual, major, planned. So yes, they still don't want to stop the annual or major campaigns, but they need some of these planned gifts so that they can really move the needle in their endowments and things of that nature. So this is what really feeds and pushes a lot of these major charities today. Some of these big, larger type of gifts. And this is why schools like Harvard and Yale and their endowments, they have things like patents inside of it, and they're going to be making money for way more than probably somebody could have gave with a stroke of a check at the time, because people gifted those things to them over time. So it's a great question, and it's the answer is yes and no, but they have to kind of have a good, and I think that analogy of how our commissions can be paid, I think that's a good.
Oh, well said. Yep. Very understandable for this audience too. So thanks for translating it that way, Malik.
Big on analogies. I'm big on analogies.
And we've went over. I knew this was going to happen because you are the most fascinating man. I'm going to ask one more question. And before I do, I just wanted to open up for the audience. Is there any comments or questions? Which one of my questions should be my last one? I'm actually really, I think would be the most beneficial for the audience is and if we can go to the final slide also, then everybody will know how to get a hold of you as well, Malik. If you could just spend a moment on sharing your history with publications and authoring articles in the financial space. Where can our audience, if you were to begin becoming an author of these articles, what advice would you give for somebody that's aspiring to do so?
It's actually a lot easier today than it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. Now, the work is not easier, but getting in front of it, that work is actually a little bit harder because everybody needs content. Content is king right now. And content is king for a few reasons. Content is king because everybody's learning online, right? YouTube, Google, all types of things that they're doing. But also SEO is powerful, right? For people who don't know what that stands for.
Translate, yeah, yep.
Search engine optimization, right? So if you're building a practice, if you're building your business, when somebody Googles, I want to buy a life insurance policy in Minnesota, right? You want to be one of you want your article, or you want your firm, or you want whatever you have done to show up highly on those lists. That drives brand awareness, that it drives new business. And so all these publications they're thirsty for content. I just got a call from Bankrate yesterday that they want me to do some stuff with them, but I'm probably at capacity from that perspective. But yeah, people are always calling, they're always asking. There's a few different ways to get those quotes. Number one is you can be a part of organizations, or the ones that I'm a part of, I know more about, but the FPA is a good one. They have a media source. There's a couple of other, I'm a part of a marketing kind of company called Hyperchat. They send some things out. But and then what you have to do is you have to grind it out. Like you have to, when those quotes come, you have to give them their sound bites, give them their information. It's maybe about 100 to 500 words. Sometimes you have to jump on a call with them. And I did that for about 4 months. So I was probably submitting maybe 4 to 5 quotes a month, and they would select and pick which ones that they want. So for the first 3 to 4 months, I didn't get anything, right? And then I got my very first one, which was Market Watch. And then it kind of took off from there. And then once other reporters start to see you in a quote, then they will come back to you. I have editors from CNBC, Barron's, Business Insider, Kiplinger, some of the top editors, senior editors and things of that nature. They have my cell phone number, I have theirs. And now they call me now. But it was probably like a grind from that perspective. Then I'm gonna let you guys on a little secret here. Then they start to pay you. so now I actually get paid to write some of these things.
Thanks, Malik.
Yeah.
That was a good point to share because a lot of the audience also participates in that form. And for those of you on the call, you can find Malik at feltonandpeel.com, contact info on the screen right now. Check out the press section on his gorgeous website because there's more than just this Kiplinger article. There are multiple that I think you'll find fascinating. And thanks for tuning in today. Be sure to tune in next Wednesday. We're bringing in the Legal Eagles. We'll have Eric Christofferson, who's an estate and business attorney, who will be talking about trusts and their many flavors and purposes. This is a two-part series that you won't want to miss. Thanks, Malik. We appreciate you. And thanks, friends. Make it a great day.
Thank you.